I used to dread the days where I had a tough training session planned, and although I knew these tougher workouts were so important to improve as a runner, I often found it hard to get out the door. But this has changed a lot to the point that I would say that I love pushing my body hard. And it's actually not that difficult to actually trick your brain into start liking doing these harder workouts. So let's go inside and talk about 6 ways of doing this. As a coach and athlete, I found the mental part and the psychology surrounding being an athlete really fascinating. And I think it's the most important part if you want to improve. Because if you can't find ways to motivate yourself to put in the training job, you are never going to achieve your goals. Before I share my tips on how to start loving doing that hard work, first, let's talk briefly about why our brains might not want to do hard workouts in the first place. Our brains are wired to avoid discomfort and seek out pleasure, and that has been a great survival mechanism when we were hunters and gatherers, to make sure that we rested when we didn't have to go out and find food or defend ourselves. So it makes sense that we would naturally want to avoid a grueling workout when we actually don't have to, and when we have a lot of high energy food right next to us and the smartphone is providing our dopamine fix. So in a way we have to accept that our brains were not developed to live with all this comfort we have in the modern world. But knowing this, we can find ways to trick our brains to still do some hard things that makes us feel so good afterwards, makes our lives richer and brings us closer to our goals. Because believe me, not doing these hard things for a while will make you feel worse in so many ways. The last couple of months I have been sick a lot since our kids started daycare, and I haven't been able to do any hard workouts, and it had made me feel bad in so many ways. And this brings me to the first point on how to trick your brain to like doing hard workouts. This first one is an old trick to get out the door and get your training in. Focus on the reward you will get when you're done in terms of a great feeling of accomplishment, endorphins from the training, and just a general proud feeling of knowing that you did something hard that is good for you and brings you closer to your goals. For example, next time you dread going out and doing a hard workout, focus on the feeling you will have when you get to lay down on the sofa afterwards feeling great, instead of how tough the workout in itself will be. The number one reason that I think that I dreaded the harder workouts when I was a young, ambitious athlete was that my high ambition also made me think that all interval sessions and harder workouts needed to be as hard and grueling as possible. So I really pushed to the edge, both in terms of how hard I ran, but also when it came to the number of interval reps and so on. And some of the sessions truly were brutal. Besides that way of training making me need several days to recover from it physically, it was even harder to recover from it mentally, to soon enough do another one of these hard sessions. Nowadays I never try to kill my legs in the same way in training. I do more of those harder workouts closer to lactic threshold, and this allows me to both physically and mentally recover a lot faster. And although every single hard workout isn't as hard as it used to be, I can do so many more hard workouts, so it has still made me improve. This way of training with doing a lot of sub-maximal efforts in running closer to that lactate threshold pace has been made famous by the Ingebrigtsen brothers the last years. And it has been talked a lot about the physiological advantages of this style of training close to your threshold. But I think the psychological effects of not suffering to the max in each hard workout is underrated, and is a big part of why people following this Norwegian style of training can have such a great consistency and development over time. Studies have actually shown that the common easy running or cool downs most people do directly after a hard workout actually won't make you recover faster like many have claimed, but still most elite runners keep doing them. Besides the fact that those cool down jogs give you some extra miles, I think the most important part of doing this is to let your brain end the hard workout in a nice way, so you can remember that feeling before your next hard workout. So I really encourage you to do cool down jogs after your harder running, and run them just as slow as you want, if possible also in a nice environment, and mentally pat yourself on the back for the good job you put in, and try to remember that nice feeling of jogging around after a job well done. Preparation is the key to so much in life, and if we don't prepare well and make sure that all the circumstances that we actually can control are in place, it's pretty likely that we will have a bad experience from our harder workout, and we'll continue to dread those sessions. For example, make sure that you have eaten enough before the workout and not too close to it. Also, make sure to have your gear sorted out, maybe choose your favorite running clothes for your tougher workouts and a shoe that fits the occasion. All of these small things will increase the chances of you having a nice experience from the hard workout and give your brain a positive memory from it. This next point really makes a difference, and I think it's something rooted in us humans to like pushing ourselves alongside others. And at least I found that it's so much easier running hard when I do sessions with others. Plus you have someone holding you accountable to show up. A while back, when I had a short break from all the sickness the kids brought home from kindergarten, I tried to ramp up my training. And one thing that made it really hard to do those tougher kinds of workouts was that I didn't have a clear goal to work towards. Then I signed up for a really cool uphill race on a staircase inside a big mountain here in Norway. And all of a sudden I was so motivated and started doing tough running sessions upstairs to prepare for that race. But right before the race I got sick again. So now I really feel the need to find a new goal, because one thing that I'm sure of is that it's a lot easier to do the hard workouts if you're training for something and have a clear why you're doing this specific workout. Also, it's just a lot of fun working towards a goal and seeing the progress. So I will do some research and try to find a goal that really motivates me, and I hope this video motivates you to try to find ways to start loving doing harder workouts. If it did, it's always appreciated if you subscribe to the channel. And if you want to watch another video, here you find a video where I talk about 7 things mentally strong athletes don't do. Train smart, have fun, and I'll see you in the next video.